Hey, it's me, Raika. Today we're going to have a look at the brand new Awakened hero, Solise the Water Animator. Now, this hero wears cloth based gear, is part of the support faction, and her primary role is to provide buffs for your allies, healing, and a bit of damage for your team. So, let's have a look at her abilities. Her ultimate skill, Clouds Fall. Now, Solus will jump up into the air and will channel this ability for a couple of seconds. So she'll channel this for 12 seconds, healing all of her allies for 170% of her attack rating and dealing damage equal to 100% of her attack rating to all enemies every 1 second. So this is a pretty significant amount of damage over the duration of 12 seconds. Solus is immune to control effects when channeling, but her channeling will be interrupted upon receiving 9 instances of direct damage. So it'll be good to place her on the back row so that she can't be interrupted during this channeled ability. Whenever she overheals during her ultimate, her subsequent attack deals increased damage depending on how much she has overhealed, up to 260% of her attack rating. The level 2. Every 1 second, Solus heals all of her allies for 190%, so this is up from 100% of her attack rating and deals damage equal to 120% of her attack rating to all enemies. The level 3, Solus's ultimate fully heals the weakest water spirit. So these are two little totems or little spirits that are spawned on the battlefield when Solus enters the battlefield. If Solus has not summoned all the water spirits she could, a water spirit will instantly be summoned and animated. So her next ability, Water's Call, she summons a water spirit that lives for up to 30 seconds. The water spirit has all of Solus's attributes. So this is her health, her defense, attack, and her secondary stats, and 80% of her current health. However, it sacrifices 20% of its health every 2 seconds to heal the nearby allied heroes for the same amount. Solus can have up to 2 water spirits at the same time. Level 2. When Solus's skills heal allies other than water spirits, they will also heal the current weakest water spirit. When a water spirit loses health due to this skill, it will additionally deal damage equal to 120% of the health loss to nearby enemies. When a water spirit loses health due to this skill, it will additionally deal damage equal to 150% of the health lost to nearby enemies. And the level 5, when Solus receives fatal damage, the current weakest water spirit will sacrifice itself to shield Solus for the damage and give all of its health to her. This effect can be triggered up to 2 times each battle. So this is essentially a cheat death that can be triggered 2 times during the fight. So her next ability, Spirit Animation, animates a water spirit and grants it 30% damage reduction, 25% more healing, and mobility and autonomy to attack the nearest enemy. Animation lasts up to 24 seconds or until the spirit is restricted from healing. This skill can also be used on allied heroes other than Solus, but it can only provide them with the damage reduction and attribute increases. The higher the current health percentage of an animated unit, the greater the damage it inflicts to enemies, up to an increase of 35%. The level 3, an animated water spirit can use Solus's spirit animation and torrential link skills when the spirit's health is above 50%, or when Solus is channeling her ultimate. The spirit can also use Solus's water call. So her next ability, torrential link. So the water call is this ability. This is the continual heal that she provides for allies, and this is the torrential link. So these are the 2 abilities that the water spirit gains. So torrential link, it condenses and hurls water energy that bounces between allies and enemies up to 5 times, dealing damage equal to 160% of her attack rating to enemies or healing allies for 210% of her attack rating. Whenever Solus overheals during torrential link, subsequent bounces during the same hurl deal more damage depending on how much she has overhealed, up to an increase of 180% over attack rating. The level 3 bounces up to 7 times when bouncing on an animated ally. Subsequent bounces will also be able to animate allies. So let's have a look at her Awakened ability, Aqua Affinity. For every 25% health overhealed by Solise's skill on an allied hero, the target's attack rating is increased by 8% up to 40%. So this is an increase of 40% attack rating that she can provide. This effect lasts until the target is prevented from being healed. For every 3 heals Solise receives from allies, her next ultimate duration is prolonged by 1 second. If she's already channeling her ultimate, then the current channeling is prolonged. So if you, for example, have a lot of support in your team who can provide a significant amount of healing for Solise, she can permanently stay up in the air, be immune to all control abilities, permanently heal your whole team, and deal damage to the enemies as well. So this might be a combination of heroes that work extremely well together that I'll show later in the video. So let's have a look at how she does in battle. So as she is a support hero, and some of her abilities read that Solise needs not to be damaged in order to get the full duration of her damage, so she'll best be suited to be placed in a back row position. So as we can see here, I've placed 2 frontline heroes, both Hendrik and Joran. Now they will essentially distract the enemies and push the enemies back, while my backline can easily deal with the enemies while Solise can continue to heal and deal damage to the enemies. So this is a similar deficit. So both enemies and my team have the same level, signature item, and furniture. So as we can see here, these are the 2 water spirits that are summoned on the battlefield, and the little balls are being hurled to the enemies, either dealing damage to them or they'll be healing allies. Now, another thing that's extremely important is a channel. Now, a channel can last a significant amount of time, as I mentioned, if she's placed in with the correct team members. So as we can see here, she normally starts at the back row. There's the little water spirit, and we can see the little ball being bounced around between enemies. There's the second water spirit, and as we can see, over time they slowly lose health. However, these animated spirits can be healed by Solise when she uses any of her abilities. So let's have a look at her ultimate skill. There we go. She flies up into there, channels her ability, and deals a significant amount of damage to the enemies and provides a significant amount of healing for her allies. Now, another thing that is extremely important is the buff that she provides. That 40% increased attack rating might be crucial when fighting certain bosses in the game. So let's have a look at how she does at a much higher deficit in the game. So this is a 680. As you can see, my team is only 360, and the enemies are all the way to 680. So from here, we can see that from this team over here, we can see that there are damage dealers and there are a couple of distracting heroes. So let's have a look at how this works. So from here, even though she's placed in the front row, the distraction my other heroes can provide is significant, such that Solise will still be able to survive, deal damage, and heal all of our allies. So as we can see, even though my allies have lost a bit of health, she can easily top my allies all the way to full health, so they can easily be overhealed and gain that special effect of gaining bonus attack rating for their abilities. Now from here we can see that nearly Mishka died. However, because Solise was able to heal for such a significant amount, she was easily able to heal Mishka back to full. There we go. We can see the channel-like effect. There we go. And we got victory over their enemies. So let's have a look. As we can see here, even though she's a support hero, she still managed to do a significant amount of damage when compared to heroes such as Roku and even Awakened Solise. Now, in addition to this, she also provided a significant amount of healing to her allies as well. So let's have a look at another team. So as we can see here, this is essentially a Iran 5 pull, where we both have Iron and Skreath, where they will be able to pull and group up all of the enemies on one singular point, where heroes such as Awakened Brutus and Queen are easily able to perma-stun the enemies and take control of the battlefield. And from here we can see that she's doing a significant amount of damage, and in some cases dealing more damage than other heroes on the team as well. So from here, this will be the usual setup where we have two extremely powerful frontline heroes, being both Grizzle and Auna, where essentially these two frontline heroes will stall their enemies. So Auna and Grizzle will not allow any enemy to come back into the backline and damage Awakened Solise. However, Solise is able to deal a damage, heal her allies. Because of the additional healer, we can see that the ultimate skill that Solise does is prolonged for even longer duration. There we go. We can see that the healing is constantly being done throughout the battlefield. So what investment do I recommend for this hero? I would highly recommend, as usual, from similar to the other heroes, that you get both the signature item, furniture maxed out, and including the engravings all the way to 60. Now, she has seen some considerable use, especially in events such as the Cursed Realm and Twisted Realm, where she can deal a significant amount of damage, especially during the Nomura Twisted Realm boss, where she can essentially stay up permanently in the air and not land a single time, dealing a significant amount of damage. Now, the shields that she will provide will also be significant, as this will provide bonus healing and provide a significant amount of extra attack rating for your allies. So what team would I recommend that would work extremely well? So maybe a full support-based team. So this might be an energy cycle team, as I am building over here, followed by another hero such as either Desira, as we can see here, and then followed by Awakened Solise. So just ignore this normal version of Solise. So from here we can see that we have every single hero can provide a significant amount of healing to Awakened Solise, where she'll consistently be able to deal damage, heal her allies, and be immune to all enemy control-based effects because of her allies. Now, there are various other teams that she'll work extremely well in. This is only one of the many teams that she'll do extremely well in.